There you go, guys. So welcome back to this little seagull outboard restoration video. So I took the carb off. So this is the carb. I'm going to give it a clean. So I've done a spark test on it on the engine, and it's got a spark. So it's not starting. It does turn over, but it's not starting. So I'm going to clean the carb out. So this is a carb. It's an amyl carb. I watched a few videos on YouTube, so I'm going to give it a go, clean it out, and then yeah, I don't think there's a lot more wrong with it then. I think it'll go. So that's where the carb was on there, so I've took it off. And so from what I know, so that was the air intake. Now there are ones that have a little slit down on some of the models, and they have like a little choke, like a choke flap that you lift up, and it has a little hole that blocks the air, and when you push it back down, the hole lines up with the hole with there and lets the air in. So that's the choke on and off. On these, they don't have a choke. This one doesn't have a choke. So I think what people do is they push a rag up in there when they're starting it, just to choke the air to get it going, and then they take the rag out once it's started. But yeah, look, it's got the proper seagull. So I don't think any of the parts on there are aftermarket. I think it's all original so far. Well, I assume so. But yeah, all good. So I'm going to so that's the throttle cable there. So I'm going to give that a spray up and a clean. So that basically sits inside of there, and those little jets there is the clutch needles. So I'm going to give it all a clean now, strip it out. There's a primer. So what you do is, when you turn the fuel on, you prime it, you press that, and then when fuel, I think fuel comes out of somewhere, not entirely sure yet. When the fuel comes out, you know it's primed, basically. So yeah, I'm going to take this apart now, and yeah, I'll bring you back. Cheers, guys. Hi guys, welcome back. So I've managed to take, so just looking at the top now, so that's all gummed up in there, so I've got to get some in there and clean that out. But so that's basically, this is copper by the looks of it. So this is the original little copper float that sits up and down in there. The fuel lifts it up and down. Now on a lot of the YouTube videos I've seen, these have all been plastic, but this one's copper, so I think this is the original one, I'm guessing. So that's quite cool. So that just has a little needle there that gets pushed up through, yeah, bottom of there, up through the float, and keeps that in place. I'm just taking all these components out, remembering how I put it back together, give it all a good clean out. So that's the carb body. Now I just want to try and get into those jets there and try and get them out. But yeah, I'll bring you back. Okay guys, so that's it, carb strip down. So I've just separated this part from that part. So in there is the needles, like the low and high speed needles. I'm going to show you in the light. You can just see, I don't know how well that's going to pick up, but I've cleared the jets through. You can see one of the holes. There you go, you can see two now. You can see straight through them, so I've cleaned them out. See the light through the holes? That's them jets. One of them was completely blocked, so that's cleared out. So that's the fuel needles. Then this is like a little gauze, fuel gauze. That's relatively clear now, so I'll give that another spray. So that sits in there like that, and then there's two little fibre bushes that sit either side. So that's like another little valve, so I'm going to give that a good old clean and then put it all back together. And then yeah, I reckon it'll be good to go then. Quite an easy little carb to strip down, actually. But yeah, all good, happy days. I'll get it all back together and get it back on, and we'll go from there. Cheers.